Gary'sApps.com is the destination for apps that helps gig workers be safer, more focused, and more proficient. The Maximo app, which is spelled Maxymo, it helps Uber, Lyft, and Grubhub drivers by automatically switching between apps and turning them on or off as needed. For example, if a driver accepts an Uber trip, Maximo will turn off all the other apps that are online, and when the trip is completed, it'll turn the apps back on for the driver. It will also auto-accept or decline offers based on the driver's personal preferences that they set directly in Maximo. Then they have the Driver's Utility Helper app, also known as DUH, which is similar to Maximo, but is only for DoorDash drivers. It as well can help by automatically accepting or declining offers, in addition to showing drivers on-screen information such as the per-mile rate and how long until the delivery is due, which will allow the driver to make a decision quicker when the request comes in. The last app is Flex Alert for Amazon Flex drivers. It takes the hassle out of tapping the screen for hours on end, which can be exhausting, by automatically tapping the refresh button for the driver and then alerting them when a new block appears. This way they can focus on a more important task, driving. Find out more at Gary's Apps, GARYS apps.com for more information and download the apps you need today.
Hey, Hannibal, what's up, man?
Like you're muted.
I even said that. I said Hannibal being by the end of the intro.
Hey, Kim. Yeah. Hey, John. How you doing?
Hey, Hannibal. How are you?
So what's up, Kim? What's up, John? Hey. What's up, Hannibal? What's up, chat? And yes, Rick, this is correct.
It was my fault. That was on me.
It was smooth though.
It always me.
But, yeah, no, Gary's until Gary gets moved, Bud Soda, he's MIA. He's still in Tennessee, and I think he's gonna be down in Florida soon. So as soon as he's back there, we're good. But hello everybody, what's up? I'm so tempted to talk about something, but maybe I'll put it off and see. No, you know what? I gotta get it out of the way. I can't.
I know you were going to.
You can't just put some lotion on it and just let it stay there.
Here's the reason I don't want to talk about it. Though.
What are you getting that reference from?
But here's why I don't want to talk about it, because I mean, Hannibal kind of made a point that at least I took was, which is what I live by with all this crap, is don't give it attention. That's how it dies. But at the same time, I need to say something because it's so stupid. It's so stupid. There's a thing, I'm sure you all have heard this, glitches get stitches. And unfortunately, the glitch isn't the glitch itself that they're talking about. The glitch is the three people who are talking about the glitch. They're the glitch. Because here's the thing. I got thrown into this mix, so I can't speak for everybody, but I'm going to speak my mind on this because, and no, I see Bud Soda saying, no, not this again. I know Red got pulled into this. This is why I'm saying it, because after this, I'm done. I'm sick of this crap, and I'm not going to waste my time on it. But here's the thing. With Para, I always said to people that, the first thing I did with Para was driver advocate. You guys had no idea the amount of emails I was bombarded with during the tip transparency era. I literally, the people that I loved who were using it religiously turned on me on a dime and started going crazy through the app. Like, we hate Para, but a day earlier it was like, oh, we love Para. Okay, well, so now this glitch, here's what I got to say to it. Number one, I only use iPhone. So even had I known about it, if you guys know me, I would have never, ever talked about it, because I don't talk about anything. What's up, Jason Thierry? I don't talk about anything unless I use it or unless I endorse it. So because it's only an Android thing, wouldn't have happened. But here's the other thing. I wouldn't have done it myself. I wouldn't have used that glitch because I don't trust that DoorDash wouldn't have done something to me for using it. I still don't think people who do it are in the clear. However, I'm not saying don't do it, because if that works for you and if that's the way you want to play it, then do it. If you're willing to take that risk, then do it. But I would have never talked about it because I would never want to promote that. So you idiots out there saying crap upon crap upon crap and spamming everything in the world, just shut up. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. All you're doing is creating turmoil in an environment where we talk about the gig economy. So shut up. You know, I saw some things about make or show proof. I don't even care about that. Just shut up. You're unfounded. You have nothing to say.
It would work if there was proof. Like but I think journalism is already dying in this country. So even another level, if you don't even know what journalism is and you just rant as if that's the evidence, me ranting in my car or whatever, drinking or whatever you're doing, that's not evidence. That's not proof. Like it's a little weird, but people should look up what journalism is and how to construct it. So if you did make a video, it would make sense, but it's not. It's just everyone just accusing each other. Because right now, I'll be honest, everyone is struggling. You could tell everyone is struggling in the gig economy. I don't know if there's anyone that's like killing it. Yeah, you see some videos here and there, but you could tell there's a lot of frustration and it's misplaced. So it's easy to attack the person that's making a video, so.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you, Hannibal. I think that everybody, I mean, even me, my situation might be a little different. I still have the same curry orders coming in, but Max started school yesterday. So I'm kind of going through this like schedule readjustment right now. So it's for different reasons and whatnot. But yes, soon I'll probably find myself behind on the grocery bills and things like that. So, I don't know. I guess my whole thing is that, look, if this glitch does exist, again, I can't speak for it. I've never used it. I've never seen it. I don't know. I've read about it now. I know how it works. Clear as day. It sounds pretty simple if you have an Android. I would not trust. I mean, like we went through some serious stuff at Para, very serious. Like for somebody using this glitch, the most that would happen is a deactivation. We actually had to hire a very overpriced attorney to deal with DoorDash on 2 separate occasions. And it was in a fight to keep the tip transparency alive. Well, this is the same kind of thing, except for you're rolling the dice on your own. You're just saying, okay, well, I found this little thing and I'm going to do it. Okay, well, that's kind of what we tried for a while too. Just realize if something ever happens, then don't come to this panel and say that we ever told you about the glitch, because that would be a straight up lie, and I would have never endorsed it.
I think that's the biggest thing, Steve. This is not a gray area with an app that's recovering what the order is actually, transparency, what the order is. This is something else, right? So and again, like you said, they definitely going to check patterns on your phone. So if you did, Steve, you did make a video and talked about it and broke it down and showed your phone, and then a couple of weeks later, when everyone who watched it did it get deactivated, then you're the bad guy, right? Steve, why do you tell us this thing that was totally against everything? Because there's no gray area here. It isn't like that type of thing. So you win or you lose. It doesn't matter. It's people are frustrated. I'll go back to that. Everyone is frustrated. We're looking for someone to attack.
And I get that. I maybe take some deep breaths before just making up straight up lies, though. There's enough to talk about without because this, what I've seen anyway, is straight up lies. That's all it is. In fact, I've even, like we were talking about last week. I mean, Hannibal, you mentioned how we get paid for gig. I didn't get my check still.
Right. Still waiting. I got some bills to pay. My son needs some new shoes. But
but that was one of the dumbest theories I've ever heard in my life.
Oh yeah.
Where's that come from? These people are like saying this stuff, and all I can hope is that people aren't believing it, but I'm moving on. That's my story with the glitch. Never happened. And if you're using it, be careful. I never endorsed it. And I'm telling you right now, I would not do it personally, period. I also don't do it a lot of DoorDash, but even so, I wouldn't do it. Only if I cared about my DoorDash account, I wouldn't do it. If you really don't care, they probably legally can't come after you in any way. They can't, but they can deactivate you. Absolutely. So my advice is do not use this glitch unless you don't care about your account and you're just kind of part-time doing it and you don't really care. So otherwise don't touch it.
Yep.
But yeah, moving on. I got a video here that we're going to watch because I think it's 2 minutes long. It's the Minneapolis City Council. And now I'm going to give it a little preface. So if we all remember, Minneapolis was going for minimum wage and they were attaching bills to bills, which I hate. I really don't even understand why states are allowed to do this. Like if you take I was kind of like saying, if you need like heat for the winter and there's a bill to like keep the heat bill at a certain amount, and then they're like, hey, let's add this RiDESHARE worker bill to it. Like, okay, those two don't go together. What are you talking about? But if you don't pass one, the other one doesn't pass. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of what happened with the original bill here for the whole state. And now it's now the governor, if we remember, gave his first veto of his career on this, even after it finally passed. Well, now the city council of Minneapolis wants to go around the governor and pass it anyway. And it has the votes now, as you're going to see in this 2-minute video. And it says that he has till tomorrow, but he is the mayor is going to be riding on this one. And what I guess what's weird about that is it would be very odd to me anyway, if the mayor goes with this and overrides the governor's decision, because the governor said, listen, we got to look into this more. And now there are quotes from the mayor saying he wants to look into it more. It sounds almost like the exact governor's words. So I would say to people that think it's going to happen, maybe kick back for a minute, because they have what they, like an investigative unit looking into this. The governor started it. I don't know what that'll really come to, but let's watch this. And I just want to jump on the other side and talk about it real quick. So let me share this.
Lyft drivers in Minneapolis are celebrating today. The city council passed an ordinance approving more money and protections for drivers within city limits. But as WCCO's Mariel Mose explains, the changes could hit another speed bump before becoming law.
There are 7 ayes and 5 nays.
That item carries.
Emotions ran high when the Minneapolis City Council approved an ordinance increasing pay for Lyft and Uber drivers Thursday morning.
We are at risk. We are being hurt. We are being going through that. We're frustrated.
Mariana Brown is a 6-year Uber driver. She shared the reality of her income driving for a single day.
We make less than $300. We fill up our tank twice. That's $100. And a wear and tear and all that we have to put in and our time. For 12 hours, we make less than $200. How is that fair? We are living below poverty level.
Here's what passed: a pay increase so that drivers make the Minneapolis minimum wage. Drivers would also get greater employment protections, including a 5-day notice before deactivation and rights for drivers who challenge a deactivation. That grace period does not go to the drivers with dangerous offenses that threaten the public safety.
And it maintains the provision that gives all drivers the right to a due process with representation in a timely manner.
Their fight isn't over yet. The power to pass or veto this ordinance is in the hands of Mayor Jacob Fry, who says he supports more money for drivers, but wanted to delay the vote to get more research and data. Mayor Fry has until Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. to make a decision on whether he'll pass this ordinance or veto it. At Minneapolis City Hall, Mariel Mose, WCCO News.
In a statement, Uber told WCCO that they're disappointed in this vote and they're determining their next steps. Meanwhile, Lyft told us that they urge Mayor Fry to veto this bill and allow time for the state's rideshare task force to complete its research. If the mayor doesn't veto the bill, Lyft says it will shut down service within the city when the law takes effect on January 1st.
All right, so that threat's been out there before. What I mean, what does everybody
I feel
think?
like that's their standard threat for a lot of things.
Have they ever pulled out of any place in our country? Have they?
But have they ever?
Right?
But have they
Didn't
ever
they pull
had?
out of Texas?
They pulled out of Austin, not the whole state of Texas, but they pulled out of Austin.
Okay.
But they also, I mean, for those that don't believe it, they were this close to pulling out of California, their biggest market, both of them. I mean, it came down to the midnight hour for that Prop 22 vote. And if they weren't going to get that Prop 22 vote in November, they weren't going to pay it because AB 5 went into effect in January of 2020. And it was November of 2020 that the Prop 22 vote was even made. And until then, they had a period where they didn't have to pay anything. They were like, no, we're exempt or else we'll leave the state. It was a straight up threat. It went to the midnight hour, and California did the math and realized, wait, our transportation network would actually crumble without this. We're not at a point anymore where we even have enough buses or this or that to get people to work. Like they realized that Uber and Lyft is a necessity to the workforce in California.
Well, I think nowadays it's a necessity to the people in almost every state now. It's just because of how many people have it and rely on it.
Yeah.
There's not enough cabs to replace it.
No, I mean, and that's the thing. Not only that, other cabs have gone out of business, or I mean, a lot of cabs have taken such a beating they're just done. So it's like, I guess that's my thing. Can you revive the cab industry? Because as far as I know, there was a time, and like maybe where Hannibal is, but that's a fight that's even been going on for 30 years. Can they revive it? Even in New York, but where Hannibal is, probably there will be cabs forever.
Yeah.
Fact.
Yeah. There's even local apps and stuff like that. So I think,
Yeah, but I mean, but for a lot of other states, cabs not only, and the pandemic didn't help either. So I mean, like cabs definitely took a beating, and even like we used to have like 4 cab companies around here. We have 2 now. Like 2 just went out of business, and so they were big ones too. Like when I used to run the bar pre-Uber and stuff in the early 2000s, and stuff. I mean, you counted on those cab companies. They weren't very respondent, but I mean, like you had 4 to call from. So, but there wasn't Uber and stuff. But then they just couldn't compete. I think that in a lot of cities, that's what happened. That one of the biggest failures, I gotta say this, one of the biggest failures I think happened, and I never understood this, was like Yellow Cab. Okay, Yellow Cab is in almost every metro city that there is. Mm-hmm. Why didn't Yellow Cab ever create a universal app?
That is a big failure. I agree.
A huge failure. Like, why the heck were you allowing Uber to be everywhere? And you didn't think, hey, we're everywhere. Why don't we make this app where if people fly to Atlanta, when they land, they can just open the app and still be on Yellow Cab?
Well, there really is not. I didn't think about this, but there's really not even a Yellow Cab app out there.
No. In fact, when you land, if you're more interested in a cab service, when you land, the options are Uber available? Is Uber available to use to get a cab? Very few markets still allow that, because Uber really just came in and took all their data and then left. But the other thing is you can download a local taxi app. But nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to go to a city and download a taxi app.
No, they're going to do what they're familiar with, which right now is Uber or Lyft. Like that's their go-to.
Right. I mean, because I do have a lot of love for the cab drivers and the truckers and everything who really suffered a lot of stuff through a lot of these app changes. But at the same time, what did the cabbies expect?
What?
Not to be rude, but
why did they just create their own rideshare division?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of easy to say, right? It's easy to say now, right? Like, kind of a Monday morning quarterback. I think these companies are disruptors they came in really aggressively, and if you don't have the know-how, and you know how most people are, they barely understand how the app works or how they even construct an app or the infrastructure, hiring, people like Gary and giving them like, 6 figures to put everything together. You got to hire multiple teams to get. So maybe it just Uber and Lyft just moved quickly, and then that traditional way of doing it, they didn't have enough speed to kind of fix it. And now they're in this position they are. It's kind of like the Blockbuster with Netflix type thing, Netflix, they're newer. They kind of figured it out quicker, and Blockbuster is still, well, I don't know if they're around, but
Yeah. But if you remember, you had to go. I mean, like even in the early days of Netflix, you had to still get a disc sent to you.
Yeah, I didn't use it until they started the streaming thing. But
Well, it's kind of like the Polaroid cameras back in the day with Polaroid cameras. Everyone's like, oh, nothing's gonna replace a Polaroid and having a picture. Nobody's gonna want to have a digital camera all days. And yeah, where's Polaroid at nowadays?
Yeah,
They missed that boat.
Yeah, I really think they missed the bus. Back to the Minneapolis thing though. I don't know. I really don't understand I think of this always as ceiling meets floor. I think what they're fighting for is a loss. I honestly do. I know that a lot of people don't. I know that even Sergio would like to see this go through and kind of thing, but I just feel like Uber will never live up to its promises either. Like, it's going to find a way to fight. If you think it's going to be a win, I feel like they'll fight it in court, or they'll threaten to leave. And will they? Probably. I mean, like Kim said, the only place that's ever tested them is Austin. They left.
So if you're a gambling person, what's the chances you think he will veto this thing?
I think
6 days?
At the end of the day, I think it'll be vetoed.
Yeah, like, how do you go against? I mean, I guess
what's the plan?
They're in the same party, but how do you go against the governor? I mean, the governor already vetoed it, and he'd never vetoed anything in his life. First veto of his career.
Well, they also have to really pay attention to their own cities and if Uber does pull out, what is it going to do to their transportation system within the city? So I hate to say it, politicians are probably going to have to outweigh what's best for the city and transportation opposed to what's really right. And, there's a moral versus what could actually work for the city and what's going to actually shut it down.
So it's possible that if he doesn't veto, they leave, everyone blames him, right? All the people like, hey, I can't get a cab. It's his Mayor Fry's fault. And I'm sure he doesn't want to do that.
You got to think about the workers who are going to have jobs who are driving.
Or if he doesn't veto it and he okays it, it doesn't go into effect till January.
Yeah,
so
I don't know. If
by January, Uber will say, oh, sorry, well, we're going to leave now anyway. So I mean, like, it'll still come down to he'll have to renege his words and like put it back out as never mind. I meant veto.
But can you imagine that? Like, this would go into effect on January 1st. So Happy New Year's and good luck getting home.
The very last ride, and then it'll just cut off. The app won't work.
Don't get drunk. You're not going to get home.
Long walk, buddy. Good luck.
I mean, yeah. I mean, to me, I gotta say, like, I feel for the drivers. I do. I think that, like Cannibal was saying in the beginning, people are hurting right now even more than normal. This would still be happening anyway, but they're hurting even more than normal. And, I mean, I guess because I don't think you're going to force Uber to do anything. If you say this is how you're going to do it, they're going to leave. I mean, it's not just here either. They've been kicked out of Spain 3 times. And only the last time were they allowed to go to Spain. The first 2, they weren't even allowed. They just opened service. Hey, thank you, Cray. Appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, so if they're going to do that to other countries and then leave and then just come back with a bigger suitcase of money until it's big enough, I mean, what's going to stop them? And then you get into the same thing about the politicians. What that email said, I can't remember what the email. Here, let me read the email to the drivers, because what they sent out to the drivers was it basically said, we will have to prices will rise. We will have to majorly diminish the amount of rides and or leave the city completely. That to me isn't even to the consumers and the customers. That was a ploy to the politicians. Like, you want to not have Uber available in your city anymore? Because it doesn't take having Uber as a backer to understand that it's just a loss for you. If you lose Uber, you just lost a lot of votes.
You also lost a lot of conventions. Imagine, like, why would you go to that city and plan something there with horrible transportation?
Right. Yeah.
Kim.
Yeah.
If you were the mayor of Minneapolis, would you veto this bill?
Really?
Mayor Kim, what would you do?
And your governor already vetoed it.
On it.
But now you're the mayor of Minneapolis. He vetoed it for the state.
It's
and
hard
he said, I need to research it more.
See, to me, that's hard because you're asking a gig worker who automatically thinks gig worker and not politician way. You know, like,
okay, but even gig worker way, do you think this is a win?
The only thing I honestly think that's a win, to be honest with you, was the piece about deactivations and being able to appeal deactivations. I think that's something every area of this country is lacking. So, you know, if they can amend it somehow to be a little bit more, I was reading Sergio's comment about having your cake and eat it too, but I feel like, and this is with every state, like, you need, like, there's no common ground. It's either this way or no way, and there's no middle ground happening in any state. So I don't know. I know that was a political answer.
Yeah, you should be a mayor.
That's I forgot about the name RIDE. Yeah, so RIDE. There's been a lot of startups in Austin for some reason.
Well,
I know that they're a good market for a lot of things. But there's been like 3 rideshare companies in there, and so I don't know. I guess I want there to be wins, but is it a win for minimum wage? Because if the company's fighting it, the company in other states is already letting it happen. So if they're fighting it, is there an underlying W-2-ness there? That becomes my concern. Is the city council or the governor is part of, because he's very left, and he should have passed that thing in a second. It was his first veto of his career. So, like, is there something in there that's worrying him? Like, is there pre-Teamster language? Not just kind of they'll be involved, but like major stuff. I wonder.
I feel like there's stuff we're missing, though. Like, I always feel like whenever there's stuff like this, like, there's stuff we're missing behind the scenes that we're not fully aware of that's happening. Like, I feel like that's with anything political. I feel like there's a lot of back end stuff that happens, a lot of deals that happen all the way around. And I feel like we're missing a lot of times the full story or the full information.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I think, like you said, Kim, the decision is not easy. He has to calculate the economic impact, obviously public opinion, obviously what's going on with the drivers. Like I said, if they decide to leave and all those drivers lose their jobs, they're going to blame the person at the top of this. So, I don't know. I'm looking at the numbers. Is this bad numbers to have? I mean, I know minimum wage is minimum wage, but was it $1.40 a mile, 51 cents a minute? Is Lyft says only the wealthiest of people can afford a ride if this gets plugged in. Is that true? Is that more propaganda from Lyft? I don't know.
Well, would Lyft charge more? Absolutely, they would. Do you think they're going to take it out of their end? Lyft is under $1 billion finally. By the way, guys, they only have 900,000 now. And if you remember, how many months ago was it?
Was it 10 billion? Something.
Yeah, they were
that?
at 10 billion in March. Now they're under 1 billion.
We need more competition. If there was a company in that area that say, "Hey, don't worry, Mayor. We got the local thing going. Go ahead. We can figure it out. We got it." But I guess they don't have anything like that there.
Yeah.
I would have to say, even if I was Mayor Kim, I'd be like, what's the backup plan? Like if I was to pass this, like what's the backup plan if Uber falls out? I've been looking at, Sergio's comments because I know he's really passionate about this. Like,
Yeah, me
what's
too.
the
So that's why I'm
backup
putting it
plan
on.
to have the town not shut down and still have transportation in my city? I think that would be my biggest concern as a mayor, because you can't shut down transportation based off of a company leaving based off of something that I'm trying to pass. So, I think from a political
Kim would
standpoint,
be
I
an
think
honest politician.
How long that would last? You wanna stick
You're done,
around?
Kim. Your career is
Yeah,
over.
you're out there.
I'm not into politics whatsoever. I'm too good for politics.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Oh, yeah. I'm watching Sergio's comments too, and I feel the pain. But I also got to say that I did watch a video today. Again, another Minnesota thing, a little off topic here, but there's a town just, I think it's 70 miles south of Minneapolis, that lost their entire police force yesterday.
What?
What?
Not a
Yeah, I
strike,
was
they
telling that.
quit.
Was that
They
the
quit.
fun thing or no?
So I saw the mayor of this town. The town's only about 1,800 people. But at the same time,
You
they
still need
lost 11 or 12 police officers, all of them, including the chief of police. And now I saw the mayor saying, "We're a strong town. We'll get through this. We're hoping to get a new police force in here soon." Okay, well, in the meantime, didn't you just open up the door to every crime in the
Your
world?
town's gonna go to
Purge?
crap
Yeah, it's
overnight.
basically an episode of Purge. What the
I mean,
Just real quick, can you put up Sergio's comment? Or actually, I'll do it. I think I could do it. Oh, that's the one I wanted. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know where it went to.
yeah, no, I fully agree with you, Sergio. I mean, I fully agree. I think it's just, I think that's part of the biggest problem is it's going to be, and you and I have talked about this on many occasions, Sergio, but I think it's going to be state by state, and it's going to make it so ugly and hard to understand. You're just going to be like, you're going to talk to somebody in a different city, or we're going to be on live YouTube streams. And what's going on in your market? It won't just be like that 5-cent difference in understanding the money line anymore. It's going to be like, oh, dude, we got this law. We got a law that if you wear a red hat, you get double pay.
But what's better?
Steve,
What's better? Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
I
Go
would
ahead.
say,
Kim.
Steve, you know what you need to do? What was the name of the company you wanted to start? Hoopty Rides. There you
Hoopty
go.
Rides.
You can go to Minnesota.
Hoopty Rides. No, nothing required at all, guys. What you do is you go to Hoopty Rides and you upload a picture of your vehicle, no inspection, nothing needed. You can even put the reality. Sometimes my car breaks down. And then you can put, but I only charge 5 cents a mile, or, I do this, or maybe whatever, but you could have you could just have a piece of crap car and still price it out at something, and somebody sees your price. And then through the app, they just hit like a kind of like a Discord type chat thing where they're like, "Hey, are you available right now? Yeah. Did you see my piece of crap? Yep. And you can do this for $5. I'm going here. Yep.
Yeah. No issues with that. No liabilities or any of the legal problems that would come up with that.
Oh,
one.
they were even searching to make sure that it wasn't taken yet.
So,
but I do agree with Sergio about just doing it state by state. It may be complicated and messy, but the last thing you want is some federal thing coming down. On everyone.
yeah, dude. That's
every
Yes.
state
that was my whole fight
functions-
against the PRO Act was that the federal looked so ugly.
I think every.
I mean,
every
let us not
state has a
let us
different
not forget
vibe.
that this same federal laws still think, what is it? What is the minimum wage federal? It's like $7.80 or something.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a Fed that still thinks that luckily, I think there's some states that choose that, but luckily nobody uses the Fed level because there's some states that think that that's a livable wage.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, you could consider Instacart not death. I mean, let's be honest. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess the whole thing about I like Sergio very much want every city to find some peace and harmony with this gig economy. I just think it's a lot, and it's like I've been saying recently. It's more to me now about arming the politicians with the correct information and letting them do their best. Because I don't think, I mean, like, and I know this isn't a strike, but strikes don't work. Fact. And we've talked about it so many times here. Like, you can't online strike even. That doesn't work. It's a day off. And if you do, it doesn't when the apps don't even feel a hiccup, that's not doing anything except for empowering them. Same as trolling. If you talk to the trolls, you empower them. If you ignore them, they go away. But I mean, I don't know. I worry for the Minnesota drivers who are full-time, and also I would like to see the actual language on what happens to part-time people too. That's a concern of mine in every state, because if this is a slow move towards an employment model, it will be the part-timers that get screwed. And I don't know how these companies would deal with, I mean, 85% of the workforce is part-time. So how do you do this without part-timers? So it's, I guess the bottom line is, a long time ago, we should have, and Sergio and I have talked about this, I've talked about it with all you guys, a long time ago, we should have defined the app-based gig economy. It should have had a definition. Even if there weren't legislation and laws and everything in place yet, there should have been a definition to it so that we understood what it was. Because me being a true independent contractor from way back, I understand what independent contractor is. But app-based independent contractor doesn't, I got to be honest with you guys, it doesn't feel like independent contractorship as I know it. On some apps it does. You know what I mean? Like on the app, like Curry. Like, okay, obviously I can use this as an example. On Curry, on ParaWorks, the orders are transparent. If I don't want to take it, I don't take it. There's no acceptance rate. That doesn't matter. If they want to show me a cent, that's fine. I'm just not going to do it for a cent. But they show everything. Where am I picking up? Where am I going? What am I taking? How much is it paid? Those are the kind of apps where no matter what the offer amounts are, because I know I can speak for Curry that the customers set their offer price. So you can't blame Curry, because they're just a platform providing that and taking a straight percentage and giving you, the driver, the lot of the money, like how it used to be with RiDESHARE. And to those that say, well, you know, eventually they won't, since 2019 they have, and they've been profitable since year one. So my answer would be like, I don't think you're right. I think they will always be transparent. I think they will always, there might be changes, but they're always going to do that. And every company needs to do that. I think that transparency really, it might not solve everything, but it sure as hell is a step in the right direction. Fully transparent allows people to make bad decisions or good ones. You know, and then it becomes a bit on you.
I see the comment from the gigging in the Great North. He says he thinks that Fry's going to veto it. The public transportation needs a lot of work. The current light rail expansion to the south is major over budget, and the extension is going north is behind. So I mean, and that's the sad part about our public institutions, where they don't have their shit together. So companies can kind of come in and say, well, we're going to pay drivers this much, or if not, we'll leave. And we don't, you don't have your public transportation together. And I think the last thing I've heard, 45% of people in America do not have access to public transportation. 45%. Yeah. So,
So Sergio, as I've said before, of course I would. I mean, anybody would. Like I've said, if Prop 22 is here, I'm not going to send back the money if I was doing delivery. But Prop 22 was intended for rideshare drivers, and the rideshare drivers I know don't really get Prop 22. It's more delivery people. So, of course, I would take it. You're not going to send it back and go, I don't need this money, or you keep it. But I just think we need to be very careful on what we do. Like, I have read the entire document. In fact, I read the entire one before too. So it's just, I don't think we're even disagreeing, Sergio. I think we're just trying to view this from different angles because, I mean, look, it's not as easy. If it was super easy, there'd be a super easy solution. I mean, there just isn't. And the companies have played games long enough. And I don't know. And now it's kind of payback time, you know? And I think that some of the legislation will be great. Like I said at the town hall, legislation's coming to every city. So you should, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, see, and that's part of it. There's now there's people protesting Prop 22 saying this isn't enough. We want more. Well, one of the things of Prop 22 was that, you know, you're signing away your rights to protest this. So it's a big catch. But okay, let's move on to this DoorDash stuff because I want to talk about this. DoorDash is trying to like push people into like tipping better. It really, you know, what? Come on. I mean,
Some customers are saying they are being shamed by DoorDash for nudging them to tip when they didn't tip.
well, so what is a nudge?
Like, hey,
Well, what happens is like if you order DoorDash and you blatantly go in and change it to a no tip order, at the end, DoorDash will say, "Hey, you didn't tip your driver," type of thing. Don't forget to tip your driver. And customers are saying
Is that how it
DoorDash,
says it? You didn't tip your delivery driver? Could you?
pretty much.
Could you
I don't
go
know the
back
exact
and-
verbiage. I don't know the exact verbiage.
I also read that it's like if you tip them 5 stars, or if you give them 5 stars, it's like, hey, you give them 5 stars and no tip, really? Are you?
See, I got to be honest. Like, if that's really how it reads, okay, but I wouldn't expect it to say that. I wouldn't expect these companies to do that.
So here's my take on it. People are going to tip no matter what you tell them. So if a customer is a no tip customer, they're not going to care if they get nudged or not. They're still going to be in, like, I don't think they're going to care. Like, I feel like no tip customers just don't care about tipping in general. So a nudge, in my opinion, is not going to do anything.
Maybe if they put like a gift of like that monkey with the side eye thing, as you put 0 on the app, they're like, really? Come on. Like, you know, a little bit more of a visual representation rather than just kind of like feel like you're lecturing to someone. But yeah, I agree with Kim. I think it won't do anything. It's just gonna,
You know, why
piss off
not
the people that's not tipping
again,
anyway.
I would go back to why not just, you know, look, we've really got some bad habits out of this pandemic, no doubt about it. Throwing food in the dirt and then telling people, go get your food. I threw it in the pile of crap outside. Like, okay, enough. Like, why did the rest of the world realize that even during COVID, we should hand food to people? It's food. Like, let's not treat people like animals. But now we like still continue this. We don't even need to. And it's like, hey, just throw it in the dirt. It's like the new option. It's like the default. Just throw it in the dirt. You know, and I guess my thing becomes like, we see people getting hurt taking pictures. We see all this, that, and the other. Why not just like have a better system where all you have to do is like say, you know, instead of taking the picture, you hit a button that says your food is outside or whatever the people requested. And then the people have to say, I've gotten my food before you can leave.
That's nah. I would say the part, I think the 2 parts of it. I would say the part about it, the person saying, I have to have my food. People are going to take advantage of that. And I think a lot of people, as far as like getting in and out, it'll make things slower. I would say those are the 2 things that would be a
People
challenge.
are still never going to come to their door. Like, even if it even happened to me tonight before I came on, I was out working and I had to hand it to me, customer, and I had to wait the timer out because they just didn't come to the door. I called, I texted, no response. So you're always going to have those people. And then as soon as I got in my car, they opened the door and grabbed their food. Like,
Okay, how about if they don't click that they got their food so that the dasher can leave. After 5 minutes, they tip you $20 default.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen.
So here's an
Late
idea.
fee.
What do you think people would tip more if it said, okay, if you tip, you get 15% off your next order?
I don't know. I just gotta say, I think it's too crazy of a time. Like it's very hard for me to come from the restaurant and bar industry and try and understand this tipping culture that goes on the apps. Because even with RideShare, your tip didn't come till the end of the ride. If it even did. Like if it wasn't a cash tip, really I usually just assumed there was gonna be no tip. You know, I used to have a little game I played with people. If they said, I'll tip you through the app, where I was kind of a jerk after a couple years. This is around 2017 probably, where I was hearing it so much and not getting any tips that I was just like I'd literally turn around and be like, hey, everybody says that you know, that they can tip through the app. Can you show me how you do it? I did for a while get a bunch of people to say, yeah, you go. Yes, they could have removed it, but I still made them do it.
That's funny.
That's actually very smart. It's genius.
Because I said things like, I'd say things like, hey, I have people ask me how to tip through the app because I've heard that you can do that. Can you show me how you do it? And you definitely would get, yeah.
I will do that. I will do it every time.
They sound painful, like a painful, like I can't believe I gotta pay money.
Like, you caught me.
Well, I mean, it was. I mean, come on, guys. But why should I have to go to that extent? I mean, you guys knew to tip me. They knew. I could tell when I said it. This was like my proof of it. You could tell when I said it. They were like, "Oh, no, I gotta tip him." It's like, you should have tipped me in the first place, you idiot. Like, I'm in the customer service field.
I mean,
and you knew knew it. I could tell by a sigh that they knew it.
Well, obviously,
I know I'm supposed to tip this guy, but I'm not gonna.
They're like, damn, I was about to forget about that too.
And then
at least they're doing something. I mean, I'm not going to complain about. At least there's some kind of message. Maybe one person out of 10 may change it and maybe reconsider. That driver that got lucky to find that one customer to change their mind will have some more money in his and her pocket. So, I mean, it'd be nice if just DoorDash would just pay more money for each order, but whatever it is. But at least maybe one person's mind could be changed. So,
yeah.
Oh,
this DoorDash thing too. I know I saw that it was posted all over the Facebook groups that Michelle Sleet runs, the two biggest ones. And I know Kim said that I know Kim did talk about it on Tuesday. But this update on our work to build trust really bothers me because in Europe they were doing a study on the Microsoft version of this that Uber uses for facial recognition, and it was performing between like 60 and 65% efficient, which is an F- or a D-, F+, maybe. I don't know. A grade I would not want to get. So regardless, it doesn't, I mean, if you think 60% is good, it's not, and you should not be using something publicly if it's performing that badly. To me, this is kind of that same type of thing. Like Kim and I were talking before we came on. Kim won't give her facial recognition to her damn iPhone. I won't either. Okay, my iPhone, I still just swipe and type in my code every time. I don't care. I'm just not doing it.
I don't
my
even
son,
do the
my
sound
son set up his
recognition.
facial recognition. I figured he told me he did it. He's like, dude, it's so much easier. And he just goes like this. Okay, but yeah, you're younger. The grid's going to be so on you. You're going to be wearing the grid by the time you're 25.
I don't even do with my iPhone like the thumb recognition either. Like I'm still the passcode girl. I don't know.
So you guys don't take any selfies on your phones, no pictures on your phone. So the phone doesn't have any recognition of what you look like at all in the phone.
I have my own selfie. I just never turned on facial recognition.
It doesn't matter it doesn't matter what settings you make. We all know the phone listens at all times.
Yeah.
We've been
I mean,
forever.
I mean, I've proven this 100 times over. Like I'll have somebody over that talks about something that I never talk about. And then for a week, I got these ads for like
Robots
growing corn.
Oh,
It's like,
all this
grow
robots,
corn,
all this
man.
automation stuff. Yeah,
I don't live in Kansas, dude. You know, but I mean, it does. I mean, when I was around Gary, it was the him at GigCon 1. It was him talking about Branson, Missouri, because him and his wife had just been, and they had a good trip, and he was around me a lot talking about it. I swear, for like a month, all I was seeing was ads for Branson. Even I mean, it's weird because I don't have it on my phone, but Max and I have Hulu here at the house. My Hulu was playing ads for Branson, and I don't even have it on my phone. My phone called Hulu and said, "Hey, bother him with Branson ads."
Well, when I went to Colorado, I was in Colorado for the morning, and then all of a sudden stuff kept popping up on my phone for Colorado. I'm like, I just landed and I was getting stuff for Colorado on my phone.
Yeah. I mean, that's geolocation, but the fact that it's listening all the time, I'm thinking about getting one of those like lead boxes and making my phone sleep in those. Like,
I think they sell those. I don't know if they call them dumb phones, but where there's not much going on except this carrier signal, no apps, none of that stuff. I mean, you know, then you can kind of be off the grid, but still on the grid because, like I said, geolocation. But the notifications could be intrusive, to say the least.
Dude, we also, when we do backcountry snowboarding, like when we do some of the most intense stuff, some of the people I know have satellite phones. Those things are so damn expensive. It's ridiculous, man. Like if you don't even use minutes, they're like $200 a month for like the good ones. And then if you use minutes, it's like the old school method. It's like a per minute rate.
Oh no.
So yeah. But yeah, I see Marion doing but so my point to the iPhone though, that was just an iPhone thing though, but Kim trusted DoorDash with her picture. I haven't had to
you
do
can't
this yet,
proceed to use DoorDash without it. So you're kind of in a bind.
I can hit dash now and I've never done it and it'll let me dash
You
right now.
can't bypass it at all. Like once it
Is it just
pops
not in
up,
my market then? Because here, let me show you. Watch, it's going to ask for it right now.
Well, it doesn't happen every time. It's like it's a one-time thing that they ask you to do it, and then you have to like do your. You have
so
to take
why is it
pictures of
never
your
asked
driver's
me? I
license.
don't dash much, but I'm just asking. So
I don't know. I did mine like months ago, but the whole entire thing is, like I said before, a couple of days ago, it's been popping up more frequently in some markets. So it's just not a one and done type of thing. Like people are starting to see it more often in their own markets. I personally haven't. I did mine once like 2 months ago, but you can't proceed with DoorDash until you do the facial recognition and scan your ID. Like it's a no-go unless you do that.
I think they're trying to stop the people who are using different accounts or using friends' accounts or family accounts, because that happens. Like I made a post about it earlier, maybe like 2 days ago. It happens a lot here. You will order something and you're thinking, I think I ordered groceries 2 days ago, and I ordered a good amount, and it had older lady, I forgot her name, but she looked old. And I'm like, oh man, I don't know how she's gonna carry. And it said bike. I'm like, how's she gonna carry all these groceries on a bike? I'm kind of getting worried. Like, this is kind of crazy. And then shows up some dude, probably her son, with the bike, was able to carry the groceries. But
I'm impressed he did it on a
Uber
bike.
Eats. That was, he was a big guy. That was Uber Eats. So I think there's a common complaint. At least here, I don't know if it happens everywhere else. You would order something, you see a person's face, their name, you expect that person to show up, and it'd be a different person or a couple, maybe a big,
but with Uber, so I don't know if they haven't changed it yet, but we've talked about this before. Uber Eats allows you to let other people use your account.
I do remember you saying that. Yeah,
it's a weird thing. I mean, maybe they've changed that now. I don't know, and I'm not talking about this was so long ago, and I haven't.
I remember that. I remember talking. Yeah.
This was this year. They were still allowing it.
That's crazy.
Whereas DoorDash does not. But I also believe that DoorDash was not, because now that I'm looking at this article, and by the way, this article is on DoorDash's website.
Yeah.
So this is a DoorDash article about themselves, and they're saying how like this is gonna the 2-step ID process, a complete background check, including criminal and motor vehicle history. And this was the part that really got to me, though. This is so crazy to me, you guys. So since 2014, this is DoorDash speaking on behalf of their company. Since 2014, we've completed background checks on more than 24 million people in the US. Now, I guess to make the sense that I'm reading into it, realize that there's 170,000 people, or 170 million people make up the United States workforce. So you're telling me 24 million of those have been Dashers? That means approximately 12 to 14% of the country has been a Dasher.
But
That's extraordinary.
but according to Tony, there's 13 million active. So they're telling me that 24 million did background checks and only half of that passed.
So no, since 2014, the
since
company
24,
has.
I missed that. Okay, I'm
Right,
like,
so
wait a minute. That
I think
doesn't make
2014
sense.
was their inception too. I think that's
Got
the
it.
beginning of DoorDash.
You know, Checker, the company that does the background checks, are killing it. They're doing a great job. So they probably told DoorDash this. Oh yeah, man, yeah, we did 20
Right, but that's
million.
what blew my
man, we
mind. It
killed
didn't say that they've completed 24 million background checks, because we know some people get it multiple times. It says 24 million people in the US alone have been background checked by DoorDash. I mean, that's crazy to me. That's crazy that like we have 170 million people that work in this country, and 24 million of them have been Dashers.
Don't you kind of want to don't you want to know though the percentage of those who didn't pass the background check? It'd be kind of a fun statistic.
I'm guessing it's like 2.
Yeah, you would have to have been like a really famous serial murderer not to get it, because they let everyone in. So, you know, like to have actually show us some change with their, you know, security is to say we have fired Checker, we are going to pay more, we're gonna have a better company doing the background checks. That would be something, you know, to rebuild trust or whatever they're talking about.
Yeah. I just think it's crazy, you know, like I hear you. I guess I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I don't do enough DoorDash to really to know, like it again, I'm kind of surprised because it's not like I don't do much, but I don't do enough to say, like, I guess I'm surprised I haven't had to do my picture yet. I don't know why. I still do it here and there, but maybe that's part of it. Maybe they're just like, you only do it so little, we're not going to make you do it. I don't know. Because John, I mean, you've done it too.
Yeah. No, I have actually. No. I've never done it on DoorDash. I've done it on Uber.
So they use, yeah, and so the other thing about this is where's the company's name? Because I wanted to bring this up because this goes back to what I was saying about the Europe thing. Persona. So the third party vendor Persona verifies the Dasher's identity. I don't know how well that works. I don't know. You know, the Microsoft software does not work. 60 to 65% efficient. I don't know how well does Persona work. I mean, do we even know that?
I don't know much about it.
I mean, that becomes another issue too. Like first of all, I don't believe in this at all. I think Persona's just doing it to or DoorDash and Persona's doing it just to kind of scare you. I believe a lot of people could probably pass for you. I don't know if anybody's tried it, but you know, you could probably but I guess my thing too is that most of the people that I know who have used multiple accounts or had to pull something like that, get a family member to sign them up. And unlike Hannibal was saying with the old lady, they just take their picture on somebody else's account that first time.
Plus really, how hard is it really to trick it? Like, if it said, hey, do your facial recognition, could you just take a picture of that person and be like, here you go?
Yeah, or I
Probably.
mean, or just take a picture of yourself. It could be. Here's my thing. I think it could be a woman's name. I could take my facial recognition, and if it even works, then I'm just the person. It doesn't matter. But I don't even believe it works because I have pictures of me over the pandemic with duct tape over my mouth where I'm bulging my eyes out.
But that's Uber. Like Uber has a profile picture on you. DoorDash doesn't. I'm going to assume because you first have to take a picture of your ID front and back, and I'm assuming that when you take your facial ID, they match it to the ID that you just scanned in. I would assume.
It's been a minute since I actually did Instacart. I know Bud Soda was talking about Instacart and competing with couples, trying to get the orders done. Do you have to take a picture for Instacart at all? Like
Every once in a while, you do.
Oh, okay, so it's kind of similar. Okay,
it's very similar to DoorDash, where you have to like take your left and your right and your front. And...
Yeah, I had an Instacart thing here that I wanted to. Oh, well, there's actually I think there's two. Yeah, so. Kim, you guys talked about the $2,800 bill, right?
Refresh me.
The customer who ordered $282.
Yes, I did.
Okay, yeah, you did on your thing. Do you want to talk about this? Because I have a thing I want to mention after this.
So a customer on Instacart did an order, I believe, for $282, and she was chatting with her shopper, and then all of a sudden her shopper ghosted her, and the next thing she knows, she is getting an alert from her credit card company saying that her credit card got charged. It was $2,783, I believe, so almost $2,800 was charged to her credit card. So she went into panic mode and got on the phone because it was through Kroger, I think it was, and was on the phone for an hour. And they finally canceled everything that she had going on. They stopped everything. They found out that the shopper got like ridiculous amounts of like laundry detergent and whatever else. I don't know how the card allowed her to charge $2,800, but so this is at least to me was the kicker of the entire story. So and I did this with the chat in mind, and you guys can play along with this. And if you saw mine, don't answer. But how much do you think they offered this lady for the troubles in compensation for her troubles? How much in a gift card do you think that they offered this lady?
I already know what I answered.
I know you already know what it is.
I went.
Can you guys guess?
$100.
And Hannibal?
Lower. It can't be $50 or something like that, right?
Here's a gift card to McDonald's.
They offered her $20 gift card for her compensation.
What?
So the lady was livid, and
was it an Instacart card?
You know, I think it was a Kroger card, but the kicker it is, they said, okay, we'll give you $250. Still $250 for a $2,800 mistake. I would be like getting my lawyer and going for like that, like tens and twenties and thousands of dollars. If
you said 5 or 10, and I instantly, as you were saying it, I was like $20K.
Yeah.
Like, that's my minimal number. I was gonna assume pain and suffering, everything.
Pain and suffering.
Like I was gonna destroy this company if I'm them. You know, like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, and I also heard you saying it, Kim, the same thing that I was thinking when you said it was that how is there not something in place to say, hey, this person shouldn't be charging $2,800?
Like I know with DoorDash and I believe with Uber Eats as well, like you get declined as soon as they like you're only allowed the amount that the groceries are ordered. Don't ask me what the exact amount. Maybe it's $5, $10, the difference. Like if not, your card gets declined. Like they have a default feature in there. So why the heck is an Instacart have that default feature? I mean, yeah, granted, you can add as an Instacart shopper, you can add things into your, list that people are asking for, but I don't I don't know how there's not an alert system that says, hello, $2,800. Let's still charge the card.
Yeah. It has to be incompetence, right? Or laziness on the part.
Was that a
of
lady shopper?
I don't know. I don't know.
You guys are always picking on the men. I just want to say
I know where you're going with this.
Because it's not mentioned, I'm thinking it's a lady.
It probably is, but she probably got the items right.
Right? No. Look at the bottom. Christopher said, and he says the lady didn't even get the items right. Didn't get the items she ordered. So we don't know.
She just got more of the items she ordered.
Right. So Christopher Taylor, I know you read this because you sent it to me too. I had already looked it over, but I know you sent me a different article about the same thing. Do you know if it was a lady or a man? The only reason Kim knows why I'm mentioning this. Everybody else,
I know why you're saying it.
Because Kim's picked on us because of the articles that say guys can't shop. That's bullshit. Like it's like that, don't even take me back to the laundry days.
The only win I have here, the girl with a whole bunch of guys.
I can do laundry. I can shop. I can. I'm not stupid.
Men can't shop.
Perception, my
They're
friend.
Not good.
Perception.
They're not good at it. They rush. They put everything in one bag. They're not good at it.
See, Hannibal's the guy, and he's saying it.
Max and I live alone. Our laundry gets done. Our food gets made.
Someone got to do it.
Bills get paid. And we're both still alive.
That's good.
Somehow.
I mean, yeah, but it doesn't matter. We're alive, man.
Yeah, you make it work
in clean clothes. I'm alive in clean clothes and well fed.
We didn't do the article. I sent you an article 2 weeks ago. We never did it. There was another TikToker who went on, I think it was the Daily Dot, who sent an Instacart shopper 5 items and her fiance 5 items. They were both guys, and both of them got it wrong, including her own fiance.
No, you did. Yeah, you did. And that's part of the worst thing is that these articles keep popping up. You know where I really see them too? Gig Life is the new target for Daily Dot. They literally write an article on him every other day. I don't know why, but they hire him. They find if I was him, I'd be like, pay me, man. Come on,
look at old guys.
Because I feel like the Daily Dot is just TikTok in publication form.
You talk about
totally
journalism. Yeah, that's all.
I mean, it's basically just written word of breaking down TikToks and stuff, and maybe what they meant or whatever. But I do feel like Gig Life's in there all the time. Like, he's always like, hey. All these articles, and I'm always shocked too, because I'm always like, why don't you pick on why are you always pulling him out?
Well, you know why? Whoever writes that article obviously follows him on TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, with everybody else, they kind of mix it all up. I don't know, but I don't agree with the fact that men shoppers can't do the job, and I think that is I think that's like the same kind of statement as saying DoorDasher leaves baby in closet. How about human being leaves baby in closet? Why do I have to know that they're a DoorDasher? They could work at Denny's. They could be a mechanic. I don't care. Right. I just care that they left a baby in the closet.
DoorDash when they left the baby in the closet. He wasn't at Denny's. He was doing DoorDash.
I just think a lot of these media companies go after stereotypes. I think there are fantastic men shoppers in the world. The Steves, the Butsodas, the Christophers, the Johns, the Hannibals in the world. There are good male shoppers. I think that a lot of these media companies capitalize on stereotypes when it comes to shopping, and they heighten it to a whole new degree, and then they get everybody on their bandwagon. I just like to tease you guys because it's fun.
Yeah, I need to retitle my videos. Mel Shopper does XYZ. That's going to start titling all my videos and see if I go viral.
Yeah. Steve,
right.
Steve
Are you seeing $50 base pay Instacart in your market? That title alone will make you go viral.
People are like, no,
You could just have a video that says "Me neither."
no.
I think that's clickbait. I think that's what you call it.
I'm just wondering.
Or you can just say that there's no longer base pay on Instacart. I work for tips, and be like, what?
Well, and that's what I wanted to follow up on after that. Okay, so here we can end with this one because this is weird to me. This was a breakdown of the Instacart earnings, and I have two parts of this. That number one, they're talking about moving it from 7 to 4. And then there's Instacart trying to explain, like, this was actually a decent little write-up on Click on Detroit. They were talking about Instacart workers in Michigan specifically, and they played a little hardball. They said, so they were talking about batch orders. And they're like, so on batch orders, let me understand that better. You pay $7 per order. So if there's 3, you pay the person $21. And in the interview, they had to say, no, they get 7 to deliver all 3. Or if it's 1 or whatever, all they get is 7. And they're like, and you're moving that to 4? And so this is Instacart's quote to the pay cut in this interview. The smallest, quickest batches, like delivering a bag of chips or a pint of ice cream, will pay at least $4, which is 2 times higher than the minimum of other major delivery platforms. In addition to our customer tips, more complex batches like larger business deliveries, for example, may pay as high as $10 or more. That is the worst quote I've ever heard in the world. If you just lie.
So they're trying to compare themselves to DoorDash.
Right. They're saying, hey, listen, we cut it in half almost. Yeah, we took 45% of the pay away. But guess what? We're still 2 times as much as DoorDash, so suck it. First of all, it takes you 3 times as long to do an Instacart order.
Yes.
As a DoorDash order. So shut up, And then also, like, you're going to the fact to me that they're defending a $4 decrease from 7, I would have stated, like, for all the times they say no comment, this should have been a no comment for sure. Because to even try and, like, break this down and say, listen, it's not like they're getting screwed. They're still getting more pay than DoorDash. No, they're not. Dude, you were an awful platform before you did this. But here's part 2 to what I have happening is that I know not all markets are seeing this, but we're having major refrigeration trucks for Kroger. I mean, you can go behind some and just see 11 of them stacked up. And they're big. They're not 26 footers. For some reason, they're 24 footers and they're rounded a bit. It's probably because they're cooler trucks. So not only are you getting your groceries delivered by Kroger, out here is King Soopers, but it's Kroger owned, but you're getting Kroger delivery in a refrigerated truck. So here's the thing. You can get it for $7 same day by 8 p.m., or you can get it for $5 in an hour.
Uh-huh.
So if you can get in-store prices from Kroger delivered in a refrigeration truck to your house at no extra charge, no annual fee, nothing, for $7 in an hour, why would you pay $7 to Instacart to do it in the next 2 to 3 hours, whatever? If somebody takes the batch, who knows, and not pay in-store prices, not pay. I mean, I was just reading an article tonight that said that, somebody was doing the math on one of their $500 orders from Instacart, and they just realized that $100 more of that 500, it would have been 400 if they had done it in the store.
Crazy.
So they actually, Instacart says don't give out the receipts. A new thing is definitely another new thing that happens is that people are giving out the receipts. They're saying, hey, here. Now they're not even waiting. They're saying, here, you should probably see this. So it's almost like they're throwing their own grenade into it. Like, this platform sucks. Here, look at this.
Yeah. It's a matter of time that other companies figure out how to do it better in a more efficient way. But that's why it's important to have that competition. Lyft seems like they're not going to make it, but you'd want more companies, even if it isn't a local level. Maybe it's ideally in a local level, like Kroger, where they can say, we know exactly what we're doing. We even have experience with this. let's do it this way. It's a better deal for the customers. And other companies that can't handle it, can't figure it out, they'll go away.
Yep. And it does it also does a thing where if there's missing items, I was trying to read about this. If there's missing items, there's nothing they can do. But if it's like some of the bigger missing items that you have, they have another Kroger location bring it to you. So you'll still get it. You don't get that with Instacart either. Like basically for much less money and for in-store prices and no obligation, you can order way cheaper than Instacart now. So basically they just took Instacart and threw them under the bus and said, you're not worth anything at all, except for SNAP benefit delivery. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, and I guess that to me, that's, yeah.
Well, the question is who's taking those orders, because from what I understand, those can't tip.
Well, I mean, the other thing is like, if they're going to do SNAP in these caper carts, that's fine. But it seems like that's all they have now. I don't know. I mean, to me, if I can get it through Kroger directly, and again, of course, there's dumpling and stuff, personalized shopping and other things that they could do. But if I can go directly to Kroger, let's just take dumpling out of the mix for a minute. If I can go directly to Kroger, why on earth would I use Instacart? Because I'm already using Instacart to go to Kroger. Like why, if you,
there's no reason.
And the rollout of their advertising here has been huge. That's why we're seeing so many trucks. They're really trying to make it very apparent that you can do this now. Like it's almost like an ice cream truck. You see them come down my street, even though I'm not using them, I'll see them come down. It's like, it basically says, screw Instacart, use us directly. Except for without the word Instacart. It's just like order your groceries directly, no app needed. You can have an app, but you can use your digital coupons. You can use your paper coupons. You can, out here, I don't know how many other states do it, you can get your gas mile points. All that stuff. You don't get any of that on Instacart. And so and not only can you get the in-store prices, you can get all the in-store savings. You're going to not only pay less, you're going to pay way less. So to me, as other states start to wake up, this is to me, this is the death of Instacart. At least the part that delivers to customers, because I don't see why anybody, once this comes to your market, I don't see why you do this anymore. Because you're not going to, I mean, I already know people complaining about Instacart that never used to, but that said, I guess that's a week, guys. I want to thank everybody for joining us. I didn't even get to the chat today, and I know that I had to say that in the beginning, but I'm done with it, you guys. I'm out. I got more important things to focus on, and yeah. So that said, Kim, what do you got going on?
What do I have
Mayor
going
Kim.
on? Well,
Just
Tuesday
pre-record
it. Tuesday is my live at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Wednesday is Money Hungry at 8 p.m. Pacific. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on the RiDESHARE guy. I'm trying to think what else. Thursday, I am back here every Thursday night at 9 p.m. And then the weekends, I just go out and hustle my butt and work like crazy and then start the week all over again.
And what you got going on?
Actually, I'm working on a video right now. It's not as much of a surprise, but I think people will kind of understand what's going on, not just with gig work, but in general, just everyone being exhausted and being tired and dealing with money issues. So hopefully that video does well. I'm actually going to have an interview with Bud Soda, because apparently he did the impossible. He got back on DoorDash. I don't know how he did it. I want him to explain it to me. So that'll be my recorded interview. And I'm also trying to reach out to actually the video I did recently about DoorDash just seems to deactivate people and hold their money for all types of reasons. Lewis from Delivery TV actually going to take the video and translate it in Spanish for his audience, because I'm sure a lot of those people definitely are probably dealing with that as well. And I'm going to see if we'll try to contact the Worker Justice Organization, this organization that's in New York City that's talking to a lot of these people who are dealing with this, and maybe I can get one of their representatives and talk, obviously with the videos and stuff like that. So trying to figure out like what's going on with that situation, because that really affects people's lives, where you're working and some kind of mishap happens and DoorDash trying to hold your, $700, your $1,000, your account. That's devastating. So that's what I'm concentrating on.
When I was talking to Senator Priola about that, he had absolutely no idea that even existed. And he's just like, are you kidding me? And he said, no. He's like, so let me get this straight. He's just like, somebody has earned that money and they take it away. And he said, yes.
Because he's going off state law, where if for any reason they let you go, you're owed that money that day.
Yep.
Yeah. So he was shocked.
I think most people do not know.
Existed.
Yeah, I think most people do not know that it happens, and we need more people to know about that.
Yeah, I agree.
I think a lot of people don't know that in most, and I don't want to say all, but in most states at least, if you are terminated, you can go to that location, get paid. You don't have to wait for the next payday. You can go get paid out and be done. If you get fired, you can go and sever your ties.
Yeah.
And even if, it might not be a payroll check, but they have to cut you whatever they owe you that day. So, that's just something to think about here too. Again, another way that the apps abuse us, because Uber Lyft Phoenix was a perfect example of getting screwed over. He put in a week, and he was following no matter how you feel about that scenario, he was following the standards that DoorDash had set. So he wasn't breaking any rules. He was doing what they allowed. And then they decided that after deactivating him, that they'd keep his money while they looked into it. That's BS.
Exactly.
That should never happen. They should never be in fact, to me, I'm shocked that, at this point, it should be that they cash you out nightly for free. Every one of these apps should be able to do that. That's that's one of those bare minimum things they should be able to do for us. Every night at midnight, everything you earn that day goes into your bank. Because that's not something you should have to go into the app and go, you know what? I'll pay the extra money to cash out, or I'll do look, they keep bringing things down. That's something they could give that needs to stop.
Yeah,
because these are the kind of things that are going to really see. This is how I look at it. These are the kind of things that are going to really screw up legislation, because it's coming. It's just, can we minimize its damage? And now stuff like this, where they just keep pissing on the laws even more, is just pissing these states off even more. Yeah. So it's like, it's like every time they're like given a little leeway, like, guys, just kind of try and clean it up. It's like they go piss on everything. And and then they're like, screw you. And it's like,
they're affecting the lowest, low income communities, people who are doing this, especially in New York City, where this is probably their main source of income. They're full time. So when you do this, it's a bigger deal, like you said, or legislation. They're going to group together, because they have some organizations over there, and they're going to push some stuff, and it may not be the best solution, but when the companies are doing things like that, someone's going to try to do something to fix it.
Yeah, I was trying to get that up there. So Hannibal's video, if you haven't seen it, check it out, for sure. And you guys, that's it. That's a week.
Hold on. You forgot.
You forgot John.
John.
Oh, John.
How dare you? I'm not gonna forget John. Damn it.
All right.
What is John got going on?
No, actually, John, I'm hoping John talks about something that I'm hoping he continues to do. I don't know how it went for you or how you're viewing it, but I liked it.
The work from home stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that video, that's not the video I got planned right now, unfortunately. I got Spark videos planned, but if it comes up around, I'll bring some more topics up. But yeah, I recommend it, especially the people that have that option, that are people that are interested in it. There were quite a people interested when I did a community poll. So there may be more for it, maybe more videos on that topic if there's a demand for it.
Yeah, I wouldn't go only on the community posts, though. To be honest, there's a lot of people who might not be actively seeking employment, but work from home is a different thing, you guys.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's still work. But look, I
It
mean,
still work. Yes.
but right, you have to get work done, but at the same time, it allows you to not have to sit in your car and decline a ton of stuff, and you don't have to be full time, or I don't know. It's
Part time is it's a good mix too. Yeah. It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
full time either. It can be part time.
I mean, I think everything that I'm going to do here out is going to be kind of part time, because I want to have my hands in a ton of cookie jars in case things fall apart in one, that I have other streams of income coming in. I don't want to be reliant on anything anymore. But that's me. I mean, I know we have to be to some level on a lot of things, but I'm really trying to spread myself out as much as I can on this stuff, because I don't want to be counting on anything.
You never know when one thing might fall out. Yeah.
Yeah. So with that said, I suck for not remembering John and asking him what was up. Thank you, Cody, for pointing that out. I'm a piece of trash, and I'm sorry. But now that's going to be edited up to be something that I didn't want it to be.
You should go back and edit there, just cut that part out. Just be like, hey, what about you, John? All right, what is the chat talking about down there?
Well, if he deletes it, the chat goes away too, correct?
There we go. Never happened. No proof.
I think all you have to do is just edit like 1 second out and the whole chat goes away.
Yeah.
I never do. I leave it up there for you guys. So, but with that said, you guys, we'll see you back here next week. Until then, be safe, earn smart, and go check out the para video. That's what I'll plug here is go check out the para video that dropped today. David and I talked about Para Works, Para Drive, and the new Para Pass, which is awesome. And we tested it last night till late. We got me onboarded. It worked. It's all good. It's live. Check it out. That said, see you next week. Peace.